Good morning. It is Saturday, March 21st, and this is going to be an instructional video about the new Canada Wage Subsidy Program. So I'm primarily recording this video for my clients, but I'm going to make it shareable as well and post it on a few social media platforms. So if you are receiving this and you know someone else, another business owner that could benefit from this information, then please go ahead and share it with them. So if you are not already a client of mine receiving this video, I am Alicia Lowen. I'm the owner of Decimal Accounting Inc. We are an accounting firm located in British Columbia on Vancouver Island, and all of our services are online and paperless. So our clients are already benefiting from not having any in-person contact. We're able to continue our work for people. And I've done a lot of extra research recently to figure out what the procedures are going to be for this wage subsidy program. And I wanted to share that information with you today, because often the wording on the government sites is a little bit difficult to interpret. So we're going to walk through that together. And I've got an example as well with a template spreadsheet to calculate the wage subsidy. So I'm going to share my screen. If you are already a client of Decimal and we do your payroll, we will be doing this for you. So you don't need to worry about calculating it yourself, but just so that you understand what's going on here and who is going to be eligible for it. So first of all, there's this on the Government of Canada website. We've got frequently asked questions about the temporary wage subsidy. And I wanted to run through this quickly and give a little bit of my own translation of what this could mean for you if you are an employer in Canada. So the temporary wage subsidy program is effective right now as of March 18th, and it will include wages paid to your employees on March 18th or later. So this is going to be based on the pay date, not the range of the pay period. So if you had people who worked earlier in March and then let's say your pay date was Friday, let me just check that I'm telling you the right dates. Let's say your pay date was Friday, March 20th, then you can include that entire payroll in this subsidy program. So it will be for the next 3 months. So it's from now until June. And you do not have to apply for it. So this is something people have been asking me, if there's some sort of application that employers need to fill in. No, the way that the subsidy is going to be administered is it's essentially like a discount on your source deductions. So source deductions from payroll, that's the taxes, EI, and CPP amounts that come off of your employees' paychecks on payroll. And then you as the business pay that amount to CRA. So what they're going to allow us to do is to essentially short pay that source deductions remittance by claiming the wage subsidy as a discount on that amount. So there is no effect to your employees' pay stubs. You still produce the pay stubs as normal. And then when you send your remittance of your source deductions to CRA, that's when you take the discount. And there's no application, you just pay the lesser amount, and then I'm assuming it will get reconciled with the T4s at year end. But we'll find out, because this is all very, very new. So I think the government, by the time that it's the end of the year, they'll have some more information for us and they'll have procedures in place to reconcile it. Okay, so it's going to be for 3 months. Who is eligible? So the only eligible businesses are going to be incorporations that are small business corporations. So it's listed here, a Canadian controlled private corporation. That means if you are a Canadian citizen and you're the shareholder, so you control the corporation, like I am the shareholder of Decimal Accounting Inc., I control the corporation, I am a citizen of Canada, then my company is a Canadian controlled private corporation. So yours probably is as well. And if you are not sure, then check with your tax accountant. It also includes nonprofit organizations and registered charities. So The interesting thing here to note is it is not currently including sole proprietorship businesses. So if you operate a sole proprietorship and you have employees that you pay wages to, unfortunately, you cannot participate in this wage subsidy program. So I have a problem with that, and you probably do as well if you are one of those people. I believe that the intention was to support all employers in Canada, and that we want to be able to help people potentially avoid laying off their staff if they can use this subsidy to help out with their cash flow in the meantime. So what I would recommend that you do about that, if you are a sole proprietor or if you're someone who cares about sole proprietors and wants them to be included, I'm just going to show you my email here. So I would encourage you to contact your MP. So I've written an email here to Alistair McGregor. I'm in North Cowichan, so he is our local MP. And I've said, hello, Mr. McGregor. As you may be aware, the new COVID-19 Wage Subsidy Program, effective March 18th, currently excludes employers who are sole proprietorships. I'm looking for your help in lobbying government to immediately revise this policy and include all employers in this program, individuals who operate sole proprietorship businesses and employ Canadian workers are just as important to support as incorporated business owners. So if you want this text, if you want to copy that, go for it. Send it to your MP as well. If you want, I can copy and paste this in an email to you. Just contact me at info@decimal.ca. And I think that's an important thing to do, because if we can get this wage subsidy for sole props as well, that will be beneficial to everybody. So currently, it is not available for sole proprietorships. How much is the subsidy? It's going to be 10% of wages. So between this time period, March 18th and June 20th, but there is a maximum per employee and a maximum overall for the company, for the employer. So up to $13.75 per employee and to a maximum of $25,000 per employer. Associated CCPCs, that's Canadian Controlled Private Corporations, will not be required to share the maximum subsidy of $25 per employer. So associated CCPCs are when you have more than one incorporation that you're a part of. It's saying they're not required to share the maximum. So you may be running two different corps, and each of your corps will be able to use this. It says they're not required to share it, so they can each have a max of $25,000. Okay, if you have, so here's an example. If you have 5 employees, the maximum subsidy you could receive is $6,875, which is the per employee max times 5 employees, even though the per employer maximum is 25 grand. So it's maxed out by how many employees you have. So this is going to be the total for the entire 3-month time period that you can claim per employee. Okay. I don't know if I need to go through the rest of these questions. I can put this link maybe just in the comments on my Facebook post, because I will be showing an example of how to calculate it. How you receive it is just you short pay your source deductions. So you reduce your current remittance of federal, provincial, territorial income tax that you send to the CRA on your payroll source deductions is how you do it. When can I start reducing it? It is effective March 18th. So for the first remittance period, that would include that pay. So if you had a payroll that was just this Friday, then you can include that pay period in the subsidy calculation. Will it affect deductions from your employees? Nope. No effect to the employees. Their pay stubs are still exactly the same. This is just saying if you forget to do it now, you can claim it at the end of the year. Sure, but it would probably be more helpful if you can get it right now. Records, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this one was interesting. Is the subsidy considered taxable income? Yes. I'm surprised by that, because oftentimes government support programs are not considered taxable income. So this is saying, yes, it is. If you receive the subsidy, you have to include it as income in the year for your corporation. If your business is closed, okay, so if you've already had to lay off your workers, then you're not currently paying them salary, wages, anything. So then you can't receive the subsidy if you don't have wages currently being paid out. But you might have just paid them in the last few days, and so you can claim the subsidy on that payment, okay? So watch out for that cutoff date. And then Quebec is just going to be applicable to, I don't actually know Quebec. I do the other provinces in Canada, but I don't know about Quebec. So if you're in that province, you're probably going to want to speak to a local accountant to get some advice. Okay, so now I want to show you an example. So I've got a spreadsheet here, and let's give credit where credit is due. So I have received this from other accounting professionals who thankfully put this together before I had to go create something from scratch. So thank you so much to Tiffany Stewart, CPA, and Melanie Schroeder, CPA, who collaborated on this document. And then now I'm able to use it for my clients to calculate what the wage subsidy is going to be. And remember, like, you're not filling in any paperwork when you do this wage subsidy. You're just going to short pay your source deductions, remittance. But this is how you would calculate it. And you do need to be tracking it per employee. So here's an example. So let's say this company has 6 employees, and this person, their gross wages were $1,500 in this first pay period. So the pay date in this case is March 31st. So that person's wage subsidy is $150. This person's 180. This person was 20 grand, just for an example to see what happens when it maxes out. So remember that the maximum per employee for the entire time period of the subsidy is $1,375. So this person cannot receive more than $1,375, or we can't claim more than that amount for this person. Couple other people, so we've got 2,000 there, 1,500, and then here's another one with a large amount just to show what happens. And so then if we go to the next pay period, so in this case, sorry, I'll just show the total. So the wage subsidy allowed there is 3,430, even though the total payroll was 56,000. It's being limited, so it's not 10% of 56,000 because it's being limited here because we have 2 people who have already maxed out that per employee amount. So if you are planning to do this yourself for your own business, be very careful about that, okay? Now, here, what happened was in the next pay period, we had employee 3 and employee 6 had already maxed out. So here they get 0, right? They've already reached the maximum of $1,375. So this is a cumulative total along the bottom here for each person. And so then the wage subsidy allowed is column 15 here. So the wage subsidy allowed on that next pay period is $1,895. And then on a third pay period, now we have 3 people who have maxed out that $1,375. And so we're only able to claim the wage subsidy on employee 1, 4, and 5 because their, pardon me, cumulative totals are still under $1,375. Okay, so then the entire subsidy that this company has received then is $6,025, and you also need to watch that number to make sure it doesn't go over $25,000 for the entire company. You'd probably have to have quite a few employees in order to reach that $25,000 max. Okay, so that is how you use a spreadsheet to track it, and we are nearing the end here. I just wanted to quickly go through if this does not apply to you. So let's say you are a sole proprietorship or you are an employee of a company and you're watching this video and you're wondering what kind of benefits are available to me. So there are a couple other programs that will be starting in April. So the reason I wanted to focus on wage subsidy is because it's effective right now as of March 18th. These other programs are coming into effect April 1st is what we've been told. And so right now we don't have a ton of information about how they're going to be administered. So I'm going to show you the most up-to-date info, and then I will be continuing to do research and update you on any new developments that we find out about. So you can follow my Facebook page, Decimal Accounting Inc., for updates and more videos like this one. So this is 2 new programs. There's going to be the emergency care benefit, as well as the emergency support benefit. So the emergency care benefit is up to a maximum of $900 biweekly for a period of 15 weeks. And this would be for income support. It's essentially EI is what it is, but it's income support for people who are workers, including the self-employed. So that means sole proprietorships who are quarantined or sick with COVID-19, but do not qualify for EI sickness benefits. So if you are a sole proprietor, you don't qualify for normal EI unless you have elected to go into optional EI. Most people don't, because it's not required for sole proprietorships to pay EI premiums, but that also means that you don't get the benefits if you can't work. But not your employees. So if you have employees, then you are taking EI off their paychecks, and if they have to get laid off, then they can collect EI, but not you as the owner of the business if you're a sole proprietor. So this is going to be a special program, which would be if you don't normally qualify for EI, that you could get this benefit, okay? It also includes workers, including the self-employed, who are taking care of a family member who's sick with COVID-19, such as an elderly parent, or a child, or your spouse, or whoever, but do not qualify for EI sickness benefits. So if you have had to shut down your business to care for someone else, that's also possible, right? The first one is saying you're the one who's sick. This is saying someone else is. Or parents with children who require care or supervision due to school closures. So if you can't work right now and you're a sole proprietorship and you can't work because you have no childcare, even if none of you is sick or quarantined, you can still get this emergency care benefit. Okay, and it says it will be available in April 2020. So listen in for more news about that as we learn more about the situation. The way that you will apply for the benefit, so you do have to apply for this with the wage subsidy. There's no application to be filled in. With this, there is, okay? So you're going to be accessing it either through CRA My Account, and if you don't have a CRA My Account, then I would go to option 2. You can access it from My Service Canada account or by calling a toll-free number, although I would bet that that toll-free number is going to be a little bit swamped. Oh, it does say automated, so maybe it's not having to wait and talk to an agent. Okay, but we will have more information about that as it gets closer to April. And then the second one here is the emergency support benefit, and that's pretty vague. It's just saying it's going to have $5 billion in support to workers who are not eligible for EI and who are facing unemployment. So we don't know exactly what that program is going to look like. Again, this has all just been announced in the last few days, and so I think the government will be continuing to update us on what's going on and who's going to be eligible and how to apply for these different supports. I also just wanted to mention quickly, in case you have not already heard, that the tax filing deadline is extended, and there is going to be a period of interest-free relief for your income tax payments. So normally the tax deadline is April 30th, but for individuals it's being extended until June 1st. So if you can't currently get in to see your accountant, then you may have a chance when it gets closer to June, or there are accountants like myself who offer remote service that doesn't require an in-person appointment. And then self-employed people, so that is sole proprietors. The deadline to pay the balance due, so they haven't, hang on a sec, just to pay the balance, not the filing deadline. So the filing deadline is normally June 15th. Yes, income tax and benefit returns still need to be filed by June 15th. Okay, so no extension to the deadline for sole proprietors, but there is an extension to the payment term. Normally you have to pay by April 30th. So they have extended the payment deadline to August 31st, and there will be no interest or penalties if you pay by August 31st for your income taxes. And then businesses, this would be referring to incorporated businesses. So if you have corporate income tax that becomes owing after March 18th and before September 1st, so let's say you have like a spring or summer fiscal year end and you'd normally be paying your taxes at that time, The deadline for you is extended to August 31st if your return is filed on time. Okay, so you still need to file it on time, that's important, but then you won't be assessed penalties or interest as long as your balance due is paid by September 1st of 2020. Okay, so I hope that this information was beneficial to you. Like I said at the beginning, if you know someone who this would be interesting information for them to know, then go ahead and share this video with them. And I hope everybody has a great Saturday and maybe gets out to a secluded trail somewhere to take a walk and enjoy some sunshine. That's what I'm planning on doing this afternoon. So talk to you all soon. Bye.